all agree on is we need some help in the center of that offensive line, whether that be guards or maybe even center. So the first player we got up is Trey Smith from the Kansas City Chiefs. Only 25 years old, 6'1", 321, which is he's actually one of the smaller guys. He's got some weight, but he's actually one of the smaller guards that are available. I got the PFF scores there. We don't like PFF too much, but for offensive linemen, sometimes that's really all we got unless you're going to go back and watch every snap of every offensive lineman. And I know I don't have the time for that, so I kind of do use it as a crutch. See, he was a good run blocker, decent pass blocker, but didn't allow a sack and only allowed Patrick Mahomes to get hit 5 times. Now, before the Super Bowl, he was looking like $20-25 million, and maybe he still is. I'm not sure, but he is considered the top notch. He's the prize of free agency outside of T. Higgins. But if you don't need a wide receiver, Trey Smith is supposed to be the prize in free agency. Are you guys interested in a $20-25 million guard?
I'm not.
Specifically this one.
I'm not just because of what I saw in the Super Bowl and in some of the playoff games, right? So
I'm not saying that, Sarah.
When we're talking about, okay, we're going to play the Eagles in the conference championship game, right? We're going to play a good team. I said it earlier that the talent, when you make the playoffs, the talent level goes through the roof. This is why we don't win playoff games, because we just have enough talent to make the playoffs, but not win a playoff game, right? So, like, I'm looking at this guy. You're going to pay him all this money, throw him in there. I think he'll be good for the season, but when the talent level starts rising, I think he falls off. So I am not going for Trey Smith.
I mean, he's been a starter all 4 years in the league. He's been ranked as a top 15 guard all years, and he's only given up 8 sacks in the 4 years that he's played. So, I mean, we're looking for a guy to protect our franchise quarterback, J.J. McCarthy. I think he would, be a great help to doing that.
I just want to know how many sacks in the playoffs were. Those 8 sacks were in the playoffs.
Probably a lot, but I'll say he was still, regardless of how many sacks he gave up, he's still in the better half of guards. Like, you bring up that list of guards we had, Trey Smith or any of those guards we had playing in that rotation. Trey Smith would be our best guard we had since probably Steve Hutchinson.
Yeah?
No. Yeah, because our guard's been trashed since Steve Hutchinson.
And we've been making the plus, and we've been making do with the trash-ass guards we had. So I'm willing to pay Trey Smith that money. He's only 25 years old. And shit, sign another guard to go with him. So now we got Trey Smith and hopefully another elite guard, draft or sign another one in free agency. And you got Garrett Bradbury for cheap. And just adapt to the type of offense KLC wants to run.
So Trey Smith was credited with giving up 1 sack and 2 hurries. Oh, man. So I'm thinking that they're going to try to actually keep Trey Smith, especially after what happened, which means they might have to let go of some other players. And one of those players was Joe Thuney. I was like, man, well, maybe we can make a run for him. Bro, he gave up 1 sack and 6 hurries himself.
Mm-hmm. That offensive line was
getting bitched during the Super Bowl.
Like, that was not good.
So I know some people say 19 million market value. Yes, that's if only one team was going for Trey Smith. There's going to be multiple teams going for him. There is going to be a bidding war for this guy. So that's why he has the biggest range. I got him at 20 to 25 million, and that's the biggest range. George, yes, he is getting a little old, but I mean, good guards can hold up.
25 is a little old.
No. He's a great one that played for us for what, like 15 years?
No, he's talking about Thuney.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying the holding up part for a good guard.
Yeah, no, they can hold up.
Thuney kind of makes sense because, I mean, this is what the Vikings do. They just stick a Band-Aid on a guard, like, all right, let it ride, Like,
don't say that, Cody. It's the new Vikings. It is new era.
So, Cody, I do think that they're going to get one guard that's 25 to 27 years old, and I do think they're going to get a Band-Aid on the other side. I don't think they're rolling with Brandel, but I don't think they can afford 2 top of the lines and get a defensive tackle and maybe a cornerback. So I do think they're going to get one young stud and they're going to get one Band-Aid. Yeah. And I don't know if this does going to be Trey Smith because I don't know if we can pay him $20 to $25 million, to be honest. And I really think the Chiefs are going to do everything they can to restructure, cut guys to keep them. So that would bring up the next guy, which is Will Fries.
So that's another guy. This is one of the guys I like too, because he is on an offensive line to where he was the bright spot of that offensive line. Will Fries was that. Okay, that offensive line is good because you have Will Fries. It's good because you got this left tackle, this right tackle, and this center. You know what I'm trying to say? He was good because he made himself good. No other lineman on that line made him good. He was good. So I'm all in on Will Fries. I will take him at 14 to 17. I'll put him above market value at around 18, 19, 20 million.
Yeah, I like him. He did go out this season with a fractured tibia, so he will be coming back from a broken leg. I don't know how much that affects the guy. I mean, after seeing O'Neal come back from a ruptured Achilles, I got faith that he can come back from this. He improved every year. Like his first 2 years weren't great, but his third and the start of his fourth year, they were really good seasons for him. He's more of a run blocker. He can get to the second level, take out some linebackers. The pass blocking, 18 out of 135 of the guards. That seems good to me. I don't know. I think this would be a better option for us than Trey Smith just because of the money alone, because I think we need to get 2 guards. Do you agree, Shaq?
I'm trying to find out what team he played for, the Colts?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll bring him only if he could guarantee me he could get Quentin Nelson to come here too. Because Kobe another offensive line. I'm like, Will Fry, Colts. You must be talking about Quentin Nelson dominating the offensive line, helping the team play how they should be. Not taking nothing away from Will Fry. He might be an excellent guard for us, but I haven't really seen much from Will Fry this year. I gotta go back and watch the film, but if he could bring us something remotely better than what we had, sure. But broken tibia, I did not know he had a broken leg, and
he only played like 5 games this year, so the tape is gonna be short.
Mm-hmm. Injuries affect players differently, so
we got a left tackle. So
sounds like a Quasi special.
It does sound like Quasi special because you know what? If he didn't get injured and he continued on the trajectory he was on the season, we'd be talking about him over Trey Smith and about those dollars. So you're kind of giving him at a discount, and I think Coach was going to kind of say it, but Darisal's been hurt every single damn season.
Yeah, and with Darisal's injury, I think you're going to need to spend more money on left guard than you're going to spend money on right guard, because I don't think we see Darasal back until like week 3 or 4.
I think Darisal's back week 1, to be honest, but the problem is there's not many left guards out there. Like there's a couple, and we're going to get to them, but there's none that are going to cost more than these right guards if we're going to get one of the top 3. So Trey Smith and Will Fries, those are the top 2 at right guard. Next, Michael Fish, you okay over there?
I'm doing good. My man Crush.
I backed him. Now this is a mammoth of a man. 6'7",
go ahead and say that weight,
3. That is a mammoth of a man. Now, I don't be negative here, but that almost seems too tall for a damn guard. Like that seems like it could be some trouble. That does seem
Freeze is 6'6". He's only an inch taller, but he weighs. Does that say 363 or 383?
363. You wish it was 383.
I wish it was 383, man. Tell you what, 57 pounds heavier, he ain't going nowhere.
Well, that's the problem. He doesn't go anywhere. We pull guards. So
we'll pull the left guard, Cody. We're just gonna make damn sure that they don't try to stunt or twist on the right side ever again.
Oof. What was that, Fish? Good luck.
No, can you pull? I'd be looking at
stunts.
Emiliano, that's fair to say that he might be slightly overrated because we're really judging him off of one season. He was drafted by the Jets as an offensive tackle. He was the number 11 pick overall. So he was highly regarded, and he had injuries at the beginning. And then once he was healthy, he just did not live up to a first-round talent at all. They didn't give him his fifth-year option, and that's how the Eagles ended up getting him. I mean, he's still only 25 years old. He's got 5 years in the league now. That's pretty crazy. So, that's tempting. And the salary, $8 to $10 million, If that's really where it's at, I'm in.
I don't know what offense. I just don't know if he can pull like what our guards do. They pull out and they, I'm saying, like, what's an offense that's just straightforward run down your throat is the Eagles. The only things they pull are tackles.
From what I heard, he ain't got any kids yet, Cody. So his pullout game is great.
All right, then let's go.
I will say, if we could get him on a discount because he dipped when he was drafted as a tackle and he moved into guard and he had a good season for a good offensive line, give me Mekhi Becton for what, $8 million, $10 million?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's better than fucking who we had recently. All these guard options don't sound too bad compared to what we had.
I like the prices for him. So I'm a little bit conflicted on him. Like it sounds almost too good to be true because it's a cheap price and everything. Like people are raving about him. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really watch him until the playoffs. Like that's where I really started focusing on him because Fish was kind of calling him out at the end of the season, but I wasn't paying attention to guard on the Eagles. But in the playoffs, I did kind of watch him. He's a mauler, and that's for sure. And then you look at his PFF scores, which again I know take it with a grain of salt. But he was a way better run blocker than a pass blocker. And I don't know, that's because he had Saquon Barkley making him look like a good run blocker. And the pass blocking, he was middle of the road. And honestly, I'm looking for a guy that's going to protect JJ McCarthy. I want the best pass blockers. I want a guy who might be a little sus at run blocking, but damn, he's a killer in the pass block.
So you want Dalton Risner.
They're agile. And I don't think
Dalton Risner was a killer in anything.
Black is not agile at 363. That's a fucking tackle.
Wait,
yeah, man.
Bradbury's agile for his size. You gotta say that he's agile for his size. He's
agile straight. He's not agile.
I tell you what, I bet you if it's 3rd and goal from the 2, I bet you we can run it in for a touchdown behind him.
Push.
That's true. And you know what? I got it on good word from a bunch of people in the chat that JJ McCarthy's a handoff quarterback anyway, so maybe I got this wrong. Maybe we do need a run blocking guard.
Well, change the scheme. Say no more pulling guards, and we'll get them.
Okay, bet.
That's what
this scheme's ass. This scheme's ass. Our offensive line game ass. If we can't get the play action going, what the fuck?
So Shaq, you've been kind of critical of all 3 of these guys. I think you're more into Trey Smith. Am I right about that? Out of these 3, we've talked about Trey Smith, Will Fries, Mekhi Becton. Who do you hope the Vikings go after?
Honestly, all those 3, I'll give Trey Smith that $20 million because the next couple of guys, shit. I just looked at the list. Give me Trey Smith and one of these guys. We ain't talking about the offensive line all year.
And I agree with you. I'm like Will Fries or Trey Smith. I kind of want to go with Will Fries because he might be a little bit cheaper. And then give me one of these next guys because then I think we still go get a dominant defensive tackle and maybe we add a cornerback.
I think that's if you get Trey Smith, you ain't getting that cornerback. I think you give me the next 2 guys and then you can go get your defensive tackle and your cornerback. I just don't think you're going to get all 4 with Trey Smith. Mekhi Becton, I think you can get the defensive tackle cornerback. But if you go get Trey Smith,
I think that's why I said maybe Will Fries instead of Trey Smith because I think you can get Trey Smith and then one of these next guys and still make some moves. So the next guys, these guys are older. These are we're talking Band-Aids. We were talking about Band-Aids earlier. These are guys maybe 1 or 2 years. Okay, and Kevin Zeitler, he was somebody that I wanted before he went to the damn Lions. He got a year older, but damn it if he didn't have one of his best seasons last year playing for the Detroit Lions. If he's only $6 to $7 million, I think they're going to try really hard to keep him. But if they don't, I'm definitely open to it. But now we're talking about cheaper right guards. We better be getting Tevin Jenkins on the left side if we're going to go get one of these cheap right guards. And we will get to the left side after we go through these right guards. But what do you guys think about bringing Zeitler in?
No.
I ain't against it.
That whole offensive line was really good for Detroit. I think he entered because he entered right to the Lions and he shined. So I want the guy that shines with the trash O line instead of the guy that shined with a good O line. It tells me nothing about this guy. He played with a really good O-line. Okay, he had help. How about when you get zero help, when Bradbury's to the left of you? Like, what are you going to do when Bradbury's to the left of you? Are you going to like, oh, look at it like, oh, shit, he's getting smoked?
And that may be true. Like these next 3 guys, it might be a 1-year deal, and we have to, go for another young guy next year when the cap goes up again, and then we got more money. And I'm okay with that. I just want to address it for this season because we are in a Super Bowl window, so I want to compete every year. I don't want to get a guy in here that's going to take a couple years, to develop. So if we got to bring in one of these guys, like it's going to be a good Band-Aid for 1 year, but we also get a stud on the other side of our center, I'm fine with that. And I want guards that are going to make Bradbury better. Because I'm telling you guys right now, and I'm going to say it again throughout this whole thing, Bradbury is not going anywhere. So we need to improve his left and his right. And Zeitler, the thing that scares me about him, the only thing that scares me about him is that the Lions were his 5th team.
Yes.
And he's not exactly an expensive guy. So why isn't he sticking? Like I hold him in high regard. But again, we don't watch guards as much as we watch receivers and running backs and defensive players. So I just wonder. It gives me a little bit of Reisner vibes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was just thinking. I'm concerned it's a Reisner situation. Because the first year
we were all stoked with Reisner, right? Fish. We were all stoked with Reisner when we first got him. We were all happy.
He was
about it.
Wasn't he like the top offensive line? Free agent prospect that year.
He was like number 3, but he was cheaper than the other 2. Emiliano, it's not that he has compromising pictures of Ziggy. It's he doesn't suck as much as people like to think he sucks. Yes, he might get forklifted here and there, but he's very cheap. Okay, so I think that's what keeps him around, and it's gonna. There's nobody worth trading him for as much as it's gonna cost. So you give him 2 competent guys to his left and his right, all of a sudden he's all right. He's okay. And I think we can improve our guards a lot easier than we can improve Bradbury, at least this season.
Yeah. But yeah, you hit it on the nose with those. You get him 2 competent guys to the left and his right. Well, we got the one on his left that's not going to be good. We know this.
And I don't like hearing, Brandel played fine while Darisaw was there and everything, but once he went out, then he wasn't good. So once Darisaw comes back, he'll be fine. I don't want that. Don't give me a damn guard that's going to be dependent on Darisaw. Like, you're making Darisaw work double. How many times did we see Darisaw taking on 2 guys? Mm-hmm. That's probably why he got hurt.
So then you probably don't want this guy.
Well, I saw the talent level.
He's on the other side.
We talk about talent level with Trey Smith, right? But Juwan Taylor was ass on that right side, that right tackle. So, I would bet Trey Smith is a way better player with us than what most of these guys are. Trey Smith is one of those guys that did shine, but what scares me is when he entered the playoffs, the talent level was way good. So, hey, he's old though.
God, I wanted this guy in the draft.
Yes, me
Cody,
too.
I'm sure you did, Cody. Iowa, right? Hawkeye.
I wanted Hawks. Yeah.
He's one of the only offensive linemen that I can remember wanting. Like, what was 10 years ago? Like, I didn't care about the offensive line. I didn't think about it, but I remember him. I was like, God, I hope the Vikings get him. And when the Redskins at that time drafted him, I was actually pretty bummed about it. And he was a free agent 3 years ago, and there's all this talk about, he's from Iowa. That's close to Minnesota. He's got family. Like, I thought it was a done deal. I thought he was coming to us. And then the Jaguars offered him a pretty big contract. It was 3 years for $50 million. I was pretty bummed about it. So part of me wants to bring him in just because of that. And his pass blocking, 19 out of 135. The run blocking seems pretty atrocious, but he didn't allow Trevor Lawrence to get sacked all year.
I just want you to know, Keith, that these last 2 people that you brought up have made me think that maybe there's still a little light for me after all. I'm going to get back in the gym. I'm going to start taking some creatine. And, the Vikings might be able to get me for $3 or $4 million a year. Just saying, man.
I'm a big Hawkeyes fan, and I'm sorry, Brandon, but it's a no for me. It's a no for me on this one.
You're out?
I'm out.
you realize like we're not going to get two studs, right?
I'm tracking that. I know.
You might end up with Ed Ingram back in there if we don't make a move.
Well, the thing is, there's some left guards that can play right guard, that have played right guard when we go in the left
guard. That is true.
So, I got
you know what I wish I knew. I wish I knew how many teams needed two guards like we do.
Yeah.
I wish I knew the competition level.
I'll take Brandon Sheriff. I'll sign him for 2 years.
At 30,
I would take him. Northfield, who got Lawrence injured? Lawrence got himself injured by running with the ball.
Yeah.
It wasn't a sack. And Brandon started last year.
I don't want a Band-Aid. This is another Band-Aid. 33 years old. That's a Band-Aid. That's a 1 year.
One of these guys are gonna be a Band-Aid.
Look at the list of guards we had. Even if this is a Band-Aid, this is better Band-Aid than what we've been putting out there on the field.
I know, but I know a guy that plays left guard that will play center or right guard. That's on the left guard side right now. So
yeah, we know him too, but he's also come back from a ruptured Achilles, Cody. I know who you're talking about. So
bring him on.
Salt there. All right, we're not there yet. Next, we got another old guy, an even older guy.
All right, if we were in a Super Bowl window, that's the guy I want. Are we in a Super Bowl?
Are we not in the Super Bowl? Are we not in the Super Bowl window? I think we're in a Super Bowl window. Are we not? Am I wrong? Do I have purple shades up?
Everything hinges with JJ McCarthy. That's the position. It all hinges with him.
Now, this might have been his worst season as a pro. That's the only thing that worries me because he is 34 years old. The name is intriguing as hell. Yeah, Robbie, he's kind of expensive, $7 to $9 million, because he's contemplating retirement. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if I want to guard this thinking about retirement.
Now, if you went out and grabbed Matt Stafford and Cooper Kupp as a combo deal, yeah, fuck around with this one.
I mean, everybody knows who Zach Martin is. He's like a 5-time All-Pro, 8-time Pro Bowler. Wasted his career in Dallas. But I just don't know if he could be that guy. And hey, we're just kind of showing you everybody who's out there, getting familiar with the names that are in free agency, because I feel like now to some of these people who are like, I'm not paying Trey Smith $18, $20, $22 million. Now they're seeing what's out there. Like, 22 isn't that much.
You really know.
I'll take Zach Martin. I'm just saying.
Isn't it amazing how there's like no middle of the road on the age guys? It's like they're either 25 or 26 or they're 33 or 34. Nobody in free agency who's like 27 or 28.
Robbie, you're looking at his contract for when he signed like a long-term deal and he was like making too much money. His estimated salary is what it would be. He's a free agent right now, Robbie. He does not have a contract.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and Zach Martin is the player out of all this list of old dudes. Zach Martin is the type of guy that you might see a resurgence from, like the Rams did when they won their Super Bowl. They signed Andrew Whitworth, right? Mm-hmm. And then you saw a resurgence from Andrew Whitworth. I think this is the guy that you could see another resurgence from.
Last season was the last of his contract, Robbie. I don't know. Do you need sign language? I don't know if I could do it. That was the last part of his contract, of his long-term contract. So yes, he was overpaid last season.
I will say Zach Martin, he did have some bad struggles last year. Like, you saw the regression. He wasn't that all-pro guard he usually is. But if he get that resurgence, and like you was talking about earlier, Keith, about, scouting offensive line, Zach Martin was the first tackle that I seen turn into a guard. And then that what made my mind set up to, if you could find an elite tackle or a good tackle, he could become an elite guard.
Well, he became a guard because he's 6'4", 315. He's not 6'7", 360.
But he was a tackle coming out.
I know that. Well, yeah, he had to get pushed the guard. He's small.
See, I like Bob Sweet's thinking.
Can we get Cooper Beebe from them?
Shit, can we go get Will Hernandez?
Oh, can I get to the next one, Cody?
Oh.
So the next guy I got on this list is somebody I actually won last year. He kind of falls in the same category as these old dudes, but he's younger, like, if that makes sense. And that is
there's a 29-year-old.
Willie.
So he's 29, but he kind of fits in that same bin as far as talent wise as the other guys. He's just younger, which there is some benefit to that. I was hoping to sign him last year, but the Cardinals ended up bringing him back. But he's 332, 6'2". He's a good pass blocker, blocking our franchise quarterback. I like it. Not a terrible run blocker. No sacks allowed. No hits allowed last year. Now, it helps to have a mobile quarterback. JJ is mobile. Maybe not as mobile as Kyler Murray, but he's still a mobile quarterback. And the guy's cheap.
I wanted this guy in the draft. I remember this Will Hernandez. I think the Chiefs ended up getting another guy that's a big mauler-looking dude, just strong in the trenches. Yeah, this is one of the guys.
He went to the Giants.
Yeah. Was that the year we drafted Chaz Surratt?
No. That was only like 2-3 years ago, Cody.
What?
Cody got Nelson Mandela.
Will Hernandez is 29, bro. He was drafted like 7 years ago.
Yeah, 2021, right?
Yeah, 7 years ago was 2021. James Bradbury.
Oh, Bradbury year. That's when
the Mandela effect in full effect. My God.
So I was saying.
Oh, Sarah.
I remember Will Hernandez coming out.
Sarah, why you do that, Sarah?
I remember Will Hernandez coming out because they said he doesn't fit the scheme. That's why we didn't draft him. And this was back when we had Rick Spielman. We had the plethora of booty ass guards that fit the scheme, but the scheme was not blocking.
I like what E says. This is what I'm talking about. Give me Fries and give me Hernandez. I think Hernandez could play left guard. I think he has played left guard in his career, actually. So, like, that's the kind of combo I'm talking about for going for a combo. We got to get Will Fries or even Trey Smith, and then we got to take either one of these old dudes or Will Hernandez. Or there's another route we can go.
Oh, Creed Humphrey was the center draft in 21.
Maybe we strike out on Will Fries and Becton and Trey Smith. So maybe it's like, all right, let's get one of these old guys as a Band-Aid, and next year we'll try to get us a right guard. How about a left guard?
That guy.
This guy.
That's
and I'm going to say it off the bat. The only negative about this guy is his injury history. He hasn't played a full season in his 4 years. He's played like 12 games, 10 games, 11 games. But you know what? Christian Darrisaw hasn't played a full season either. So if we're going to hold it against him, we got to hold it against Darrisaw, who we made the highest paid offensive lineman in NFL history. So he's not going to be the highest paid. $13 to $15 million. Put him over there next to Darrisaw. Oh my gosh, we'll be running the ball left only.
This is the meanest fucking guard in this year's free agency class. The meanest. This dude is a mauler. He is strong. I don't know how many bench press reps he threw up on the 2020. This is 2000 when we drafted Darrisaw. I think Jenkins was coming out the same year. Like they had him labeled up.
But I have to. Thank you, Robbie.
Oh, look at him.
Thank you, Robbie.
But no, thank you, Robbie.
I'm all for Jenkins.
I would take Mac Jones as the backup. Oh, we lost Shaq. Damn. Yeah, I'm all for Jenkins because, I mean, he's the best left guard that's available that is strictly a left guard. There's some other guys out there that can play left guard, and they might have, but he's a mean dude.
Yes.
That's what I like about him. And he's a pass blocker and a run blocker. The Bears would be stupid not to figure out a way to bring him back with their young quarterback. But if for some reason they can't or don't, oh my gosh, let him come over here and play against the rivals. I'm hesitant to say that I would take him over Trey Smith and Will Fries because of the injury history. It does scare me. I mean, you don't shake that. Like you're not injury ridden for 4 years and all of a sudden you're not. Like that doesn't happen. You might have a season, so it does scare me. But the potential is there, and like again, like let's say we got Jenkins and Becton. Like we could possibly get them for a couple million more than Trey Smith would cost alone.
Let's say we got Jenkins and Daniels.
We haven't got there yet.
I know. Shit. Tevin Jenkins is.
Cody don't know how to wait for shit, Keith. Don't you know?
Cody don't know how to act.
Cody's like, "Where's that shark? I gotta jump it."
Yeah, I'm circling him 100%. This is the guy that you overpay for. You overpay.
Tevin Jenkins is definitely one of the top 3 guards, right or left, that's available in this free agency period. I think it's Trey Smith, it's Will Fries, and it's Tevin Jenkins. And the Vikings have to come away with one of them. Like there's no debating that. There's no arguing that. They got to come away with one of that. And if they have to put a Band-Aid at the other side, fine. That's fine.
I don't want Band-Aid. I don't want 0 Band-Aids on the offensive line.
I hear you, but Cody to shut up. So let's get Jenkins and Fries and call it a day.
Oh, you give me Jenkins and Fries. Oh my gosh, we get Jenkins and Fries. We're all going to be happy, but I'm okay with the Band-Aid for 1 year, and we go get another stud next year when the salary cap goes up once again. There's more money. There's more free agents. But okay, so Tevin Jenkins, that's a top target for us, fellas and women. Sarah, I think you're the only one out there.
I just don't want to see J.J. McCarthy fall apart. This is my other dude. I don't want to see J.J. McCarthy.
James Daniels. No.
Him.
James Daniels would be excellent, and James Daniels would be a very hot commodity. But he did tear his Achilles this season. I think it was week 4 or week 5.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Does that run block grade say a 92.5?
It does say that number 2, but Fish, that's only 4 or 5 games.
So you're saying that for over a quarter of the season,
yes.
I mean,
he had a 92.5.
I mean, like,
this 2
have
point.
you seen? Did any of our guards have? Did any of our guards have that this season at any point?
No.
That's the man.
But,
give me him and Tevin. I'm gold.
didn't he play some center?
He does play some little bit of center too.
So you got a guy we could pretty much put anywhere on the interior of the line. I'm definitely in on him, especially if he's under $10 million. Like the 5 to 7, fine, that's great. Give him 9. If he's built, and what gives me hope again, I mentioned earlier, Brian O'Neill, he tore his Achilles. He came back the next season. He was the same guy that I didn't care too much for, but was a good player. So I think he can come back and be the same player the next season. Miliano, 4 games ain't. Yeah, I get it. But this guy could play the left and the right side. So if we can sign him for under $10 million and get one of the other studs, this line is rocking. Like that's why I'm saying earlier, why can't we be what the Philadelphia Eagles are this offseason? We can get 2 of these guys and still go get a defensive tackle. And we already have the edges set on the offense and the defense. So put us down, yes, for James Daniels.
100%.
Another guy, Patrick McCarry. He plays the left and the right side too. So
A little small for me.
We're kind of getting to the nitty gritty here, but we're just showing you who's available. And I believe McCarry actually had a really good season this year. So he's probably, going to be a little bit of a hot commodity in that second tier of offensive linemen.
Fuck that. I want an elite guard.
We're going to get 1 elite guard and 1 not elite guard, but good guard. We're just going to say it. I just got to say it. We're not going to get 2 elite guards. Like, it's not going to happen. We're going to get 1 really good elite guy, and we're going to get 1 guy that, you know what? He's better than what we've had the last 5 years. And I'm going to take that. And I'm going to take that.
You need a elite guard, Quasi. Do not fuck around and get a second-tier guard to save money so you could go spend it on other positions we don't need.
I hear you. I just don't think we're going to go get Trey Smith and Will Fries. We're not going to get Tevin Jenkins.
I'm talking to Quasi. I'm talking to Quasi Adolfo Mensa. This is what you said.
You sent him a tweet.
Hey,
watch the show.
If the quarterback is what's keeping my job alive, I am getting those 2 dudes on that offensive line. I ain't gonna lie.
So now we move to the centers. If you guys think that we might try to replace Bradbury, there's really only 2 options. There's a third option that plays for the Bears, but I mean, he's basically another Bradbury, just looks different. So there's 2 centers really available. They're going to be at the top of the line. One is Drew Dahlman. He might go back to the Falcons. And his build, it's about the same as Bradbury, like almost identical. But he has been rated one of the top centers over the past 3 seasons. So you're talking about a $10 to $12 million hit for this guy. And if we were to cut Bradbury, there's a $3 million dead cap. So if we were to pay him $12 million, we're essentially paying $15 million for the center position.
Yeah, I'd pay 15 for Drew. I think Drew's a really good center. I think he's. I put Drew Dahlman as a top 5 center in the league. I said it.
He is. There's really not a debate there. He is. I don't think the Vikings are going to do it because I think they don't feel Bradbury is the main problem. It's the guards, and Bradbury is cheap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Bradbury's value is in his price, and I think they're trying to develop Michael Juergens to be his replacement. And why not? Why not? Michael Juergens is a big dude. That dude could be a mauler. Like what?
Hartman.
You know what Michael Juergens is?
Here goes the Codyisms. Sam Hartman transfer because of Michael Juergens.
Michael Juergens is the Dollar Tree store version of Gary Bradbury.
Just dog shit, dude.
You have no faith in our team's ability to develop guys.
Not the offensive line. We haven't had a faith to develop offensive line in the past 20 years.
Yeah, but this regime's only been here for 3 years.
What they developing really good. We keep switching guards out.
No, we haven't. We really haven't.
What?
Who we switch out? It's been freaking Dalton Reisner, and it's been Ingram
and Brandel. Okay. Who's the one that was there? Who before Brandel? Who was there on that left guard side?
Ezra Cleveland.
Cleveland. Who we traded because he wanted to be a tackle.
He's still a guard.
Why are you telling everybody where I'm at, Sarah? Damn it. I'm in North Dakota.
He's freezing right now. That's why he's got long sleeves on.
I am freezing. It's like 50 degrees and raining.
I'd rather just bring in them guards. I'm good off of Drew Dahlman. Yeah. Pay that cap. Pay those guards.
I agree. Like I really don't think Bradbury's going anywhere. Maybe next season. I would say maybe they draft a center, but we don't have any picks, so I don't think they're going to draft a center either. I think it might become a next year problem. And the last one, I saw some people saying the name Ryan Kelly. Take it away, fellas.
31 years old, so starting to get on that cusp of being older. 6'4", 307. So a little bit bigger than Bradbury. 71.9% pass blocking, which is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Run block, 8 to 11 million. I mean, if you could get this guy for 8 or 9 million, he's a bit of an upgrade. He's a little bit bigger. I think it would be money well spent.